What's 9 plus 10?
21.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the 21st episode of Critically Incorrect. As you can see, we have a stats lobby today full of opinions to talk about the various gaming news this week. As always, it's me and Charlie here. If you want to say hi, Charlie, real quick.
Hello.
And yeah, we finally found Justin just the other day on the street, so we invited him back on the podcast, and he said, sure, why not? So, Justin, how you been?
Yeah, I've been good. It's been a solid few weeks since I last appeared on the podcast. I've just been busy with my own stuff, so yeah, it's good that I've got that out of the way now. I'm back on the podcast, and yeah, it's gonna be exciting to talk about some games again.
Right on. We also have a special guest this week, Josh, if you wanted to say hi.
Yo, yo, yo. Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here, especially
Yeah,
during
anytime.
the Kojima week when
Yeah.
he's finally moving to Xbox.
Finally, about time, right?
Yeah. We all been
Exactly.
waiting for it.
Yeah, it's a perfect week to have Josh on, given the Kojima news. We actually invited him before that news made its way here, so I guess Kojima had this plan for us, and should be cool to talk about.
It just shows
As I-
that he's a fan of the show, really.
Exactly,
He actually
Kojima's
watches.
a
He
loyal
actually
follower.
watches.
He's been
Part of our
since
10 views per episode.
yeah, exactly. He's also been here since gaming at its core, so he's a real one, you know. And yeah, as we always start off these podcasts, we always want to, invite you to give us any feedback, suggestions, or, even give us a topic or so. You can always leave that in the comment section down below of our videos, or click the link in the description to make our way to our Discord server. As we also always do, we start off with what we've been playing. So, Justin, it's been a good 3-4 weeks now since we last talked to you.
Yes.
So, what have you been playing in the last?
All right, let's see
Bit of
if I
time.
can think about what I've been playing the past few weeks. On my PC, I guess I've been playing a bit of Rocket League with some friends. I think like the
bit.
new season started, or yeah, the new update or whatever. So I've been playing that. It's been fun. Do some like casual Rocket League, and then also like we played Drop Shot a lot. Like we really like that game mode, so we've been playing a lot of that. Also returned to some CS:GO, which is like a game I played a lot last year. I think last year, like the amount of hours I put into CS:GO last year was crazy. So I don't know. I just returned back to that with some of my high school friends, right? So that's been pretty fun. Other than that, I tried out Fall Guys Season 4 for a bit. I think I played a few games there. What else? On PS5, like, I guess the typical Call of Duty, some NHL, and then I try, obviously, It Takes Two came out. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago now? I don't even remember. But
I feel like it's almost been like 3
yeah, I don't even like at this. I'm like me and like I'm playing with Brandon, and we're like I want to say like almost halfway. It's probably my fault we haven't played more, just because I've been busy with stuff, and I'm definitely just lacking, So, yeah, definitely gonna get back to that soon. But yeah, I'm enjoying that so far, nonetheless, and definitely a lot of like, like the collaboration parts, and basically you really have to communicate with your partner when you're doing like the puzzles and stuff. So that's really fun. Other than that, yeah, a bit more playing on my Switch, some Mortal Kombat, some Mario Odyssey. So yeah, overall it's been pretty good. I'm not playing like, I wouldn't say I play a lot like every day or whatever, but a bit here and there. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
Right on. How about you, Josh? What have you been playing for the last week? Or I guess
And
just recently.
yeah, recently I've just been playing your favorite video game, Persona 5 Royal. And yeah, just slowly going through that. It's like, because I have played like the base Persona 5, like when it came out originally, and I enjoyed it. I really liked it, but I still had some criticisms about it. But I heard like good things about Royal regarding like changes to the base game, and so far I think all those changes are like later into the game, because so far it's like very much the same game in a lot of ways. Not that it's like anything bad, but it definitely feels like I'm just replaying Persona 5 at the moment.
Royal
More than just-
adds like a semester to it, right? Like near the end, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, near the end. So it's like, it very much just feels like I'm replaying the game at the moment than experiencing something new. But in terms of experiencing something new, I have started Yakuza 0, the other day. I've only played like 30 minutes so far, so not that much to make a full judgment of it, but I like it in terms of like the atmosphere and the story that seems to be going, and the gameplay is pretty fun. But apart from that, I've just been busy with uni and editing work.
Very cool. How about you, Charlie? Since we last spoke.
Yeah, it's mainly been Outriders was sort of my main game this week. I've put, I want to say, about 12 hours into the game. I'm enjoying it so far. Like the gameplay's fun. The kind of like overall gameplay loop of the game is just interesting, and it's repetitive, but the grind is actually fun, so that's why I'm enjoying it. The powers are really cool, and I think that's what has kept me coming back. I haven't played it in a few days just because I've been quite busy, and they had a few server problems and things on the first few days, but I've been really enjoying that. And then I've dived back into some VR here and there, just playing a few games with friends and things. I've been playing quite a bit of Beat Saber. I did do a stream the other day, which was really fun. And aside from that, I also started a playthrough of Black Mesa, just because I felt like playing some Half-Life, but I hadn't done like the latter half of Black Mesa before since it came out, so I restarted that. And I'm about, I want to say, halfway through the game, so I'm enjoying that. It's a really good remake, so I highly recommend that. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, and I bought Star Wars Republic Commando, but I have yet to start it up. So
Cool. Nice. I definitely didn't play as much this past week as I did last week, because last week I had spring break. I think since the last week I might have played one like session of It Takes Two with Justin. I'm not sure though. I picked up Fallout. Well, actually, I picked up Fallout New Vegas like a few months ago. I finally started that this week. I'm liking the game. It is, I don't know. RPGs obviously are like a series where I like certain ones and other ones I don't click with. Like I'm kind of like in the middle right now with New Vegas. Like it's definitely kind of slow, but at the same time, I do like the environments of, you know, it being in, like on the border of like Nevada and California, and just the characters are really cool so far from what I've, you know, seen. So definitely gonna give that more time to see how it shakes out to be. Besides that, I played quite a bit of Rogue Company over the weekend, I want to say, with my friends. That's been pretty fun. And honestly, I think that's about it. Like, I haven't played much at all. Hopefully, I'll change that for next week. But yeah. Anyways, going into the releases this week, we saw the PS Plus games come out this week, as it's the first week of April. Well, I guess first Tuesday. As we already knew, Oddworld Soulstorm was launching this week, so this was like a new game, day and date, out, you know, for PS5 owners that have PS Plus. It's also, I believe it's available on Epic Games. It's an Epic Games exclusive over there, so if you're looking forward to that game on PC, definitely go check it out. It's a remake of one, I want to say the second game, right, Charlie?
well, yeah. So it's a sequel to New and Tasty, yeah.
Nice. Also out this week is Star Wars Republic Commando. That's out on PS4 and Switch. And then I think Nintendo actually shadow announced this or something. It's Pac-Man 99. Essentially, as you know, they killed off Mario 99 or whatever that game was called last week, because obviously Mario got killed. Yeah, this is kind of like the replacement with Pac-Man 99. It actually looks pretty interesting. I actually played quite a bit of Tetris 99, so I feel like I might be into this. I think I have like 25 hours of Tetris 99. That's kind of sad.
Damn.
But yeah, Pac-Man 99, definitely go check it out if you're interested in that, I guess. But yeah, pretty slow, you know, release this week, but still some pretty cool games in there. Besides that, as we go into the gaming news this week, yeah, as you know, we kind of hinted that, I believe, like an episode or two ago when we saw the delay of Back 4 Blood and Gotham Knights. Yeah, more delays are coming, and this week we saw the delay of Deathloop. Sadly, this game is being delayed, you know, for the, you know, quote-unquote health and safety of the team, as they put it. It's going to be pushed back to September 14th of this year, so that's, a good 4-month delay. Sucks. This is a game that I personally was really looking forward to playing. I will say, however, this was coming out in a very, you know, heated time. I think we all kind of saw May as a, you know, month that was filled with game releases, like with Mass Effect, Resident Evil 8, Nocturne. Yeah, so what did you guys think about Deathloop being delayed to September?
Yeah, it sucks. I was really looking forward to it. I think it was probably out of all the games coming out in May, it was the one I was most looking forward to, just because I love Dishonored and Prey. So I'm a little bit sad that it got delayed, but at the same time, it does mean that it will hopefully release when there's not a ton of games coming out. Who knows? Maybe there'll be other things that get announced for September. Um, but for now, it's at least a little bit more spaced out, and obviously it means that the team won't have to crunch as much. Obviously they'll probably still be crunching for it, but yeah, it sucks, especially because it was originally meant to be out like November last year, so it's nearly a year that it'll have been delayed by the time it comes out. But if it means we get a better game in the long term, then I'm all for it. So
Nice. How about you, Justin?
Right. I mean, I personally don't mind too much, just because I wasn't looking forward to it as much as probably you guys. I don't know. I feel like I feel like nowadays, especially, I take a lot longer to beat my games, as you know, you can tell with It Takes Two. So I don't know. I feel like May was probably, as you said, it was gonna be a busy period. I probably would have had my hands full. Like, I definitely want to play Resident Evil 8. So I think I'll be, honestly, like, even though that game probably won't take too long, I feel like I'll take my time with that game. So yeah, I personally don't mind the delay too much. I think, at the end of the day, when it comes out, it'll be a better game, as Charlie said. So yeah, I'm not too bothered by it.
Nice. Josh?
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the game, and just like Charlie is. I think like everything about the game is like really interesting, with how it's like it's pretty much like well, as the name entitles, a complete like death loop, where you're just stuck in a time loop the entire time. And I found that like really interesting. So I was really excited for the game, like for what will be like next month, I think. Yeah, next month, and like 10 days from when we're recording this, that will have been out. I can't remember the exact date. But like it was like during a very busy season. Like there's Resident Evil 8, there's Mass Effect Remastered, and which is like, well, basically, yeah, all three games. So that's like gonna take a lot of people's time. What else? There's Nocturne, as you said, and
Oh yeah.
there's Ratchet and Clank, like pretty much like the week after when Deathloop was meant to come out.
Yeah, I think Ratchet's like early June, so it would have been pretty close as well.
Yeah, I think it was like the first week of June, or is the first week of June, unless it gets delayed. And yeah, so I think like it's for the best that Deathloop gets delayed, because I don't think it would have sold as much, or not sold as much, but I don't think it will get as much attention as, say, Ratchet and Clank or Resident Evil, especially with those games getting as much light at the moment, with like Resident Evil having like the fucking tour lady basically endorsing that game, and fucking Resident Evil and Ratchet and Clank is like considered like pretty much the first big PlayStation exclusive game, which is ironic because Deathloop is the first, like technically would have been the first PlayStation 5 only game, apart from the fact it's on PC, but
Yeah.
we got
doesn't
Returnal as
matter.
well.
Oh, and
Yeah,
I keep
people aren't
forgetting.
looking forward to Returnal as much, I feel like. But yeah, that's true.
I keep forgetting that game exists. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Well, I hope it's good.
2 weeks from now, man. Yeah, it's coming out soon.
Yeah, my final thoughts essentially, like, I think it's a win-win. I mean, ultimately, if the game's not ready, right, don't release it. So a delay is always good in that aspect, especially given COVID. That makes a lot of sense if it's not ready. Just give it a few more months and it'll be a better game, obviously. It also allows me to push Nocturne harder as people have more time. So that's also another win. Thank you very much. And yeah, ultimately, we really can't do anything about it. Like, if the game's not ready, it's not ready. It sucks. I was really looking forward to playing this. It's not coming out when I'm potentially going to be, moving to uni. So who knows if I'm even bringing my PS5. So we'll see.
No, it's cap. You're bringing it. You're bringing it.
I mean, my PC's coming first with me before my PS5, but we'll see.
Right. Hey man,
I'll
do
probably
what I did. I brought both.
Yeah.
I brought that. I was like, it was like a party room in my room. Like everyone's playing games in my room.
Exactly. Anyways, in other news, this is actually another news story that just broke. I want to say today as well. Capcom announced their next Resident Evil showcase. We knew there was going to be one in April for like quite a bit of time. I want to say a few weeks now, but they finally gave a date for it. It's going to be next week on Thursday, the 15th, at around the same time as the last one. So that's like about 3 p.m. Pacific time. If you're on, the East Coast, it's like 6 p.m. And then if you're in like the UK, I want to say it's like close to midnight, 11 p.m. to midnight. Yeah. So far, all we know is that there's obviously going to be a new trailer for, Resident Evil Village. They also teased that there's going to be potentially some surprises, which is really cool. Hopefully it's worth something, because last one, the surprises were the online reverse mode, which, by the way, apparently there's like an online beta going on right now for that. So if you're into that, go check it out. Is it broken? I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it went down after like 7 hours. Like their servers completely broke.
I think me and Charlie are definitely looking forward to seeing potentially the Resident Evil 4 VR game. I'm still not expecting that, just because the last one wasn't that very good, and I feel like Oculus would have wanted to announce that themselves, but who knows, it could show up here. What'd you guys kind of predict? I know there's also like a demo that's floating around on PSN that's probably going to come out that day of that stream as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed the last showcase they did. It showed some more footage of the game. Like they've said so far there's going to be a new trailer and gameplay. I'd imagine, because of the whole demo leak, that once that gameplay ends, they'll be like, you can play this section right now on PS5 and Xbox and stuff. So I'd fully expect that demo to be out next Thursday, which would be cool. I don't know if I'll play it, just because it's so close to release now. I might just wait, but we'll see. And stuff I'd like...
Oh, sorry.
What were you saying, Justin?
No, I was just gonna ask, like, didn't they say like the second demo was gonna be like more in line with what the actual game would be, or something like that?
I think so, because the first one was just made in.
Yeah, because they called the first one like a visual demo. They've said this one's a gameplay demo, so it's an actual section of the game from the finished game. So, I don't know. I might play that one. I'm not sure. We'll see. But like, I'd really like to see the Resident Evil 4 like VR game that was rumored. I don't know if we'll see it, just because it's like, I guess, stuff for the last one and none of that happened. So same with like the film trailer, that could easily happen again, because they've been showing off like screenshots of like logos and stuff more recently. So who knows, because that's going to be out in September. So but yeah, I don't know, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not getting my hopes up for anything.
Nice. Any of you?
I'm pretty much the same thoughts as Charlie. The last showcase they had, I thought it was it was short, but what they showed was like pretty good. And yeah, once again, like this, like Resident Evil 8, I'm really looking forward to. It's a game I'm definitely gonna get. So yeah, I don't know, like I'm not counting down the days obviously or anything. When it comes, I'll play it. But like in terms of the showcase, I'm just kind of excited to see the new stuff they show. And in terms of the demo, yeah, like Charlie, I don't know if I'll play it, just because, like, as I said, I'm gonna be getting the game for sure. I don't need like a demo to convince me or anything like that.
Justin, did you play 7 yet or no?
No, I haven't. That's the thing. I gotta beat 7 before I'll beat It Takes Two, and then I'll play 7.
So after next E3,
I've been busy. Yeah.
How about you, Josh?
Yeah.
I'm pretty much on the same line as you guys. Like, I'm very much looking forward to Resident Evil 8. I'm a big fan of the series in general, so it's probably my most anticipated game this year, alongside Ratchet. And like, I probably won't play the demo as well, because we're like two weeks from release. Like, I don't have to play a part that's actually gonna be part of the game. Like, if it was like a separate demo, like how the Maiden was, or even the Resident Evil 7 demos, then maybe. But it's like, I see no point in it, like in playing a gameplay demo when I'm gonna be playing that exact same section in no time. As well as like, I don't know. Personally, I don't really like the showcases that they're doing, just because I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like feels so. I won't say much, but there's not much to show, I feel, in terms of like having an entire showcase. I feel it's like,
Yeah, it's like one series of a game, and it's
yeah,
like
it's
how much
one
can you really
series.
show?
Yeah, if it's like Capcom as a whole, I would get it. But if it's like just Resident Evil and it's obviously just gonna be this one game, I don't know why you're doing like a entire like showcase, like it's a mini direct or something. I feel like
Yeah.
it's very. They could have just done the trailer and just be like, "Oh, here's the demo." But I don't know. I feel it's a bit odd. That's a bit of a criticism about like pretty much every studio now at the moment, which I can't really blame them because of the circumstances going on. But yeah, like in general, I'm happy about Resident Evil 8 and I can't wait to get it. I'll skip that demo because I don't want to spoil myself.
Yeah. Yeah, like all three of you, I'm already planning on picking up 8. It's my most anticipated game alongside Ratchet. Most likely, I'd say I'm probably looking forward to Resident Evil 8 more than Horizon. So yeah, I'd say it is up there with Ratchet. Besides that, like, if the demo, as you guys said, we don't know if the demo is going to be like a full slice of the game. None of the Resi 7 demos were, so I'm hopeful that it won't be. But if it is, I won't play it. I think they released like gameplay footage of Resi 8 on PS4 Pro or something like that, and I'm staying away from that too. I'm pretty much just trying to stay away from everything regarding that game, just because ultimately, like you guys, I'm already planning on picking it up, and just there's no point to it really. So yeah. In terms of the showcases, what's up?
You continue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just in terms of the showcases, like I get it, because obviously, they want to market their game, and I guess technically, because it is the 25th anniversary year for Resi 5, they just have a lot of news to share in terms of I guess everything revolving around that series outside of games as well, but just got to go into the right mindset, right? Like obviously, like we're not gonna get Resi 4 remake news here. We're probably gonna get smaller scale announcements, but yeah.
Did you see like the comparison between the PS4 and PS5 version?
I saw a
Resident Evil 8?
screenshot on Twitter, and I saw that like the PS4 Pro was like lighter, like in terms of like the lighting, it was like a lot brighter than the PS5 or so. But it looked pretty similar. Like I remember there was interviews last year saying that they didn't even know if they could get Resi 8 to run on PS4. Maybe it was because of the SSD. I think they mentioned that, but definitely looks fine. It looks like the PS5 version might just even be like an upscaled version of the PS4 version, or I don't even know how that game, how that's currently working right now, but it looked completely fine. Like it's a good, version of the game. To me at least, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it seems like they're aiming for like 4K 60 anyway, right? So I would
Yeah.
imagine like visually and stuff, it's not going to be a massive difference. It will more just be that on PS4 it doesn't have like the ray tracing the demo had, and it will probably be locked at 30. I would imagine those will be the major differences, but visually it won't be like a massive change between generations. So
Yeah.
I think it will be 60 on PS4 Pro though, just because like
Really?
the past Resident Evil 7 and 2 and 3 remake were like 60. Since
okay.
like Resident Evil 8, like obviously like you said, like they're not gonna add ray tracing to the PS4 version, and it's gonna probably just be like 1080p or whatever, 1440p upscale to 4K on Pro. I don't know how they.
I never know how games run on Pro because I don't have a Pro myself. But yeah,
I have
that's
a
true.
Pro, just I'm not quite sure about the resolution. Like, I think it's upscaled from 1080p or 1440, whatever. But it's like,
Not 4K.
again, it's not
Essentially.
native 4K like PS5, basically. So I think it will run at 60 on Pro or on PS4.
Yeah, seems about right. And yeah, we're just a week away from that showcase, so not too long to go before we find out what's announced there. So that's pretty exciting. Also announced this week was a brand new game for PS5. I believe it's only announced for PS5 currently, called Abandoned. This you probably saw floating around Twitter if you're into the gaming Twitter news space. A lot of people making comparisons to like Kojima and PT with this, but essentially it's just a new game developed by Blue Box Game Studios, aiming currently for Q4 2021. I don't know why this game blew up in terms of the media. I mean, it looks fairly cool, I guess, but like there was like hardly any gameplay. It was just like a dialogue voice of like a character just speaking about the world that they're living in and some kind of like religious views. I mean, granted, it's a horror game, so I feel like people get excited when any horror game gets announced. But yeah, what did you guys think about this announcement? Because it was definitely really weird.
Should I start?
Yeah, you can start if you want.
Yeah, you can go.
Well, I imagine like I didn't really look at the game much at all because I was like busy since it's been announced. But I did, from what I saw, it's like people speculating that it was a Kojima game, and he was doing like a weird announcement similar to like Metal Gear Solid 5 with how he announced like the Phantom Pain as like, or he didn't announce it, like he made like a fucking fake and studio named Moby Dick where they announced the Phantom Pain, and then like 7 months later Kojima was like, oh, that's Metal Gear Solid. Like the fucking weirdo he is. So people are just speculating that what's the game called again? The Abandoned?
Abandoned, yeah.
Yeah, Abandoned. And that it's secretly Kojima's next game. And Blue Box Games, who right now I'm like searching through their name on Google trying to find if they made anything else, and I can't find anything at the moment.
I believe they're a new studio. I'm not positive on that, but I believe they are.
Yeah, it seems likely. And so people are speculating that that's kind of like just a fake studio Kojima like made up to like for the marketing of this game that's secretly his next video game that he's making. And the funny thing is, I just searched up Blue Box Game Studios on Google, and I clicked on the first link that directs to their website, and the first thing that pops up is Hideo Kojima rumors. So yeah. It's definitely like this. Obviously, it's not a Kojima game. We know that, but it's like I find that pretty funny that that's pretty much the reason why this game's getting so much eyes at the moment.
I looked it up, and apparently they came out with a Google Play game, so maybe they're like a mobile developer before now. Yeah. It was also like a paranormal game, so it seems like they're just into horror there. But yeah,
it's sort of weird for that. Like PlayStation kind of not endorses them, but like put some attention on it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Justin, were you able to catch the trailer? Do you?
I did not see the trailer. I saw the announcement. I didn't see the trailer. Okay. I just saw that it was like a first-person horror type thing. Yeah, I don't know. Not too much of an opinion on it. When's it coming out? Like end of the year?
Q4, yeah. Aiming for that, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if it like that is quite interesting how it gained so much attention. Because I mean, I saw it, but I didn't I wasn't that intrigued to watch the video or the trailer, obviously. So yeah, I don't know. It might be cool when it comes out. Might check it out. We'll see.
Yeah,
what were you gonna say before? Yeah.
I was just saying, it was a weird announcement. Like, it was like a PlayStation blog thing, and they tweeted about it. And like, I saw Nobel's tweet, and I was just kind of confused because I watched that video they put up, and I don't think it's a good trailer at all. Like, it's just not. It doesn't show the game visually looking that great. It doesn't show it running well at all. Like, it doesn't look appealing to me. To the point where I responded to the tweet saying hey, they're aiming for 4K 60. This video is they upload it in 1440p 60, but it's running at 20 FPS or something. It's super weird. And then this guy kicked off at me for complaining about an indie game. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. But yeah, it's super weird. Just the fact that like you said, PlayStation put it up on the blog and stuff is a really odd one, because they do put indie games on there, but usually they're like either super unique or have like a name behind them that people recognize, or they've worked on a popular game in the past. But this game has none of those, so I don't really know why it was a thing. It might just be the devs reached out to them, were like, "Hey, we're making this PS5 only game. Do you want to like talk about it? Because you haven't got that many games that are
Or hey,
exclusive
maybe
yet."
Sony knows something more than we do. Maybe they know this game's like a banger or something. But
Maybe.
only time will tell.
Who knows? It's a weird one for sure. And then obviously the Kojima rumors were really crazy, but you know, it's the internet, anything can happen. But the Kojima stuff was crazy. I don't know why anyone thought it was the case, but hey.
Yeah.
It's funny because it kind of looks like a cheap Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
glad you mentioned Resi 8 because it definitely does seem like very similar setting at first.
Like the snowy kind of like
Mountains,
foresty area and stuff.
Yeah, and the fact like at the end of the trailer, if it's like it shows like slight gameplay where it's like you have a pistol, fairly similar to like Resident Evil 8, where it seems like they pretty much like just mainly showed a pistol in Resident Evil 8, but obviously for small guns. But
Yeah. It's interesting. Definitely was very confused until I looked further into the story. But hey, who knows? Maybe this game will be good. Yeah, interesting. Anyways, another interesting news story that actually came out this week happens to be with MLB The Show. For those that were unaware, MLB The Show, Christ, I can't talk, is going to be coming to Xbox this year for the first time. I believe this was announced like at the very end of last year. Essentially, just like the publishing, I think it was MLB side, they just wanted to open it up on Xbox's platform. Previously, always this series has been, only on PlayStation. The big news that came out this week is it's actually coming to Game Pass. This caused quite a bit of a stir, at least in the PlayStation community. At least if you're a fanboy. I feel like most PlayStation fans really don't care unless you're like a fanboy. But yeah, essentially it's going to be free on Game Pass. A lot of people are bringing up old Jim Ryan articles where they said they don't believe in Game Pass, and they're like, why the hell are you giving a game out for free for Xbox players when we ourselves have to pay like what, $60 or $70 for it? Then like Sony later came out and we're like, oh, that's actually on MLB side, not ours. Pretty funny story. I believe like on the box art as well, it's like PlayStation Studios, but then like it's obviously going to be on an Xbox case. It's kind of a funny situation that this game's finding itself in, because obviously this game is being made by Sony San Diego. So what did you guys think about MLB coming to Game Pass? Did you guys care at all or anything like that? Because I personally don't.
no,
Like, it's
Yeah,
cool.
but-
It's like an action option, right?
Personally,
Yeah.
I don't care, because like MLB to start off with isn't even sold in the UK, so like it's like not
You
anything
guys don't
I
play,
would
but
care
you guys
about.
don't play. Yeah, baseball's like literally
Yeah.
baseball's the most.
It might be now,
American
but it
thing.
never used to be back on like PS3 and stuff. I remember they never used to sell it, and I don't think the newer ones have been. But like, yeah, it's a weird one, but at the same time, it's not a big deal. Sony, as far as I know, Sony don't publish the game. It is literally that San Diego develop it. That's why it's a PlayStation Studio game. And like they said, MLB, it was MLB's decision because they are in charge of the franchise. It's just Sony develops it. So the fact that it is on Game Pass is interesting that MLB decided to do that. But it's also a good idea on their part, because for years, obviously, MLB has been a PlayStation brand. So if you're going to introduce it to a new audience on Xbox, having it on Game Pass on day one will just increase your player base by thousands upon thousands of players that see it on there and just go, hey, I'll try this out. And then when they do future entries, they can, sell it for full price and people will go out and buy it. So
We just saw that with Outriders as well, and that game's been blowing up on.
exactly, yeah. Like
Yeah.
that did really well as a new IP because it was on Game Pass and was really well advertised. So it's like a great marketing decision from MLB. But yeah, unfortunately, there are fanboys out there that like freak out about this stuff, and I still don't
I just
understand
laugh at
why.
this shit.
but-
It's funny.
Yeah.
not
Josh, Justin.
I personally.
uh,
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played MLB since like MLB 16 probably, and that was like the only year I played it. So I mean, like I personally don't care too much. But yeah, nonetheless, like as Charlie said, I do find it quite interesting how, like this is the first year that is going to be on Xbox, and the fact that they put it on Game Pass, whereas like if you're playing it on PlayStation, you're gonna have to pay that full price. So yeah, that's really interesting to me. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't really care too much, you know. It's whatever. Like to the fanboys that are like losing their minds over this, it's like, man, just like who cares? Like why, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Like, I really don't care. I don't play any sports games, so I'm not into sports whatsoever. So this doesn't bother me whatsoever. Like, if it weren't for this being news, I wouldn't have noticed. Like, I don't even know. I didn't even know that MLB the show was really a Sony exclusive. And it's always kind of been like a black sheep, really, in terms of like games that are only on PlayStation. Because like having a sports game only on one platform exclusively is like very odd. It's not like
That's true, because it's like the only sports game that was exclusive. Literally every other, I mean, like every other sports game is either made by like EA
2K
or 2K, or 2K, yeah, exactly. So like baseball is the only one that's really it was exclusive, and like yeah, you're right. Now it's not. So you know, it's like it was an outlier, like it really was,
yeah.
because it was the only one that was exclusive.
Yeah, it was like an outlier, and I feel like not much people bought it. Like as Charlie said, like it's not available in Europe because it's mainly just American
And
sport.
Yeah,
So it's like
an American sport. And dude, it's like
Yeah.
MLB is so boring to play. Like you literally just stand there. Cause I mean, like the whole concept of baseball, like you're like for the most part you're just standing there and like you hit the ball, right? So
I played baseball.
You can imagine
but I was so
playing
boring
that.
playing that.
You can imagine playing that on a controller. It's like you just stand there and wait for the pitch to come to you, like hit X to like hit it or something like that. So it's like, bruh, it's pretty boring.
yeah, it's like they already they have like a very small audience for that game. So just having it be exclusive, it's like very odd. So they're only just gonna get like a few more people. So I don't know why people are mad about it. It's like
They're just fanboys about their console, man.
Exactly. Got a fanboy. Gotta have some sort of identity.
It's like the
Might
same
as well
thing
make
when
the box you bought.
same thing when other like I don't know like Horizon goes to PC. They're like guys are losing their shit.
Yeah. Another news story: Battlefield 6 may be coming to Game Pass day one. Charlie, do you want to talk about this? Since I have no idea what this topic is.
Yeah. I because we were talking about Game Pass, and I was like, wait, was this week? So I quickly looked it up, and yeah, basically there was a few rumors going around earlier on in the week. Some people had said on a few like podcasts with notable names. I can't think what podcast it was, but they basically said they'd heard that a large first-person shooter franchise's latest entry, this holiday, may be coming to Game Pass on day one. So everyone is thinking it's probably going to be Battlefield 6, mainly because EA have always had like a partnership with Xbox. Obviously, EA Play is now included with Xbox Game Pass anyway, so it seems like it's gonna have a high chance of coming to Game Pass on day one. I would imagine, like MLB and Outriders, it would be a console thing. It probably wouldn't be on PC day one because Battlefield's always been like a big PC franchise. So I'd imagine that they want to sell it full price on there because like everyone that wants to play it would easily spend the money on it. But it's a really interesting choice from Microsoft if they do that, because it just convinces more people to go over to their platform. If they've got all these third-party releases coming on day one and you can spend like $15 a month or however much it is to get a Game Pass and online and stuff and play these new releases even outside of first-party stuff, that's a big deal. So yeah, there's not a ton about it right now, but there was a few rumors going around this week, so thought I'd mention it.
Yeah, it's like what? It can only be COD or Battlefield, right? Unless it's like that.
Yeah,
6 days
those are like the
involved.
two that like. There's a few small IPs you could think of, but when people are talking about big like first party releases, they're the ones that spring to mind. So
yeah, that's cool. Xbox making moves. Game Pass keeps growing. Be cool to see how that shakes up in the years to come. Anyways, another news topic, Monster Hunter Rise seems to be selling really well. I believe Capcom, I want to say the number is around 8 to 9 million. The number slipped off my head, but I know it's been selling really well. I think Benji Sales, a really good person to follow on Twitter, mentioned that it actually surpassed Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. So pretty impressive over there. He also mentioned that Monster Hunter, just like a few years ago, was not necessarily a niche, franchise, but was nowhere near as big as it has become ever since World debuted back in 2017, or 2018, actually.
2018,
Yeah. So definitely really cool to see. You guys interested in Rise? I've been thinking about picking up Rise, but I have not yet. It's the one on the Switch.
Not really. Like I haven't played World at all. Maybe 10 minutes of the beta when it originally was coming out, but I don't know, the Monster Hunter games never really interest me whatsoever. Maybe if I give it a try I can find something to love about, but at the moment I'm okay. It's good that it's selling well though.
Yeah, Charlie, this is also announced, isn't this coming to PC eventually as well?
Yeah, it's a year timed exclusive on Switch, and then it's going to be coming to PC next year. I picked it up last week. I got a copy from work, just because if I don't like it, I can always take it back. But I'm kind of mixed on it right now. I really liked World, which is why I picked up Rise. But for me, it doesn't, because it's locked at 30, which already is a big downside because I played World on PC. And visually, it just does not look good on Switch, especially when you're playing it on a TV. And it's much bigger, map size wise, because you've got rideable creatures that you go on to explore and stuff. Which means you've got these big open areas that are just blank and there's just nothing going on. Which sucks. So I haven't played too much. I'm gonna play a bit more first, but for me personally, I'm probably gonna just put it down and maybe pick it up again when it's on PC and stuff. But it's cool to see it's doing really well and that it's reviewing well as well. I think a lot of people are really liking it. So yeah,
that's cool to see. How about you, Justin? Your favorite Japanese?
I definitely do not care at all. I've never played the Monster Hunter games, so I don't know, maybe if I tried it, as Josh said too, maybe if I tried it I might find something that I like there, but for the time being I haven't tried anything like that, so
yeah.
I don't know.
I played 20 hours of World. I liked it, but I don't know. I want to say there was some other game. I know they had some Monster Hunter game on Switch that I tried the demo of, and I didn't like how it played at all. Yeah, it was probably Generations. I played the demo, and I just didn't like it playing it on handheld, so that has me worried. I'll probably wait until it comes out on PC at this point, just because I'm not really having a desire to play Monster Hunter at the moment. And if I do play it, I'd rather play it at 60 FPS, as Charlie said. So yeah, it's kind of where I'm sitting, but I'm happy for the fans of the series, so really cool to see that's reviewing well.
Really like them to improve on is the way multiplayer works, because they've got the same problem in Rise they had with World, which is to play with your friends is just way too complicated. You can't go into a mission for the first time with your friends. You have to enter the mission, watch a cutscene, and then you can back out, and then you can start up the mission, invite your friends, and then play it. For whatever reason, the game is just super picky about when you can play in co-op and when you can't. It's just such a mess, and they didn't fix that for Rise. So I really hope in the future they just make it so you can invite your friends when you start up the game, and you can just play, and you don't have to worry about inviting and closing lobbies and all this kind of stuff. It's just kind of a mess.
Yeah, I remember that being a pain in World.
Yeah.
That sucks. Anyways, I guess we'll move on. To go past the gaming, news topics, Netflix and Sony both announced today that essentially their licensing deal for, Sony films making their way to Netflix is going to be happening for all major Sony films 2022 and beyond. I believe this is also including the new Spider-Man movie coming out this December, which is the third one. Essentially, I guess I guess nobody really cares about the other Sony movies, but I know a lot of people have strong opinions about the Spider-Man movies, obviously because they are connected to the MCU, and a lot of people would rather have them on Disney Plus. But yeah, nonetheless, it's pretty big. So I guess I I remember adding this just because obviously Uncharted, is going to most likely be on Netflix then, given this, and other, Sony movies if you care about that. So yeah, Netflix, I guess, is the way to go for Sony movies going forward past their, I guess their run in the theaters. So any quick thoughts on that before we move on?
I can't wait to see Mark Wahlberg with a mustache on my Netflix.
Oh yeah. Hey, Netflix makes it easier so I can record some of that stuff and make some memes. So
Yeah.
The only thing I will say about it is to me, it just screams that Netflix are getting kind of desperate for subs at this point. They've increased the price of that thing so much over the past few years, and now it's getting to the point where there's so much better content on other platforms that they need to start doing stuff to stand out a bit more. They're doing the thing this year where I think it's every week they've got a new show, right? Or new show, new film. And most of them have major actors in to try and bring people in. So this will be interesting to see how this works. It seems like it's going to be similar to what HBO Max and Warner Brothers are doing, where when new films come out, they're on there. Although this isn't day and date, it's after they're done in the cinema. But it does mean that you're going to have Uncharted on there, and maybe Spider-Man and future Spidey type films. And if it goes on,
right.
Venom's this year, so I imagine that will be on there.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Didn't that get delayed to the very end of the year? Or I know, wait, I thought that got delayed to next year.
It got delayed 2 weeks. It was the
never
other Morbius got delayed to next year, which is crazy because that was meant to come out before Venom 2, by a year.
That's weird.
It's quite funny. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool. But Sony are one of those where it's they don't have a ton of movies that you kind of associate with their name. They're Sony Pictures is just a thing that you don't really. It's not like Warner Brothers where you immediately think the monster movies, or Mortal Kombat is a thing that I just know from Warner Brothers because they publish the game and stuff. So they don't have a ton of franchises that stand out to me anyway. So I off the top of my head, I wouldn't really know what would come under this, but they do a lot of films, so I imagine there's going to be a lot more than just Uncharted and stuff. So
yeah, a bunch of random one-off movies, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool, I guess. Anyways, another small news story. This one's kind of obvious, but I figured I'd include it just because it gives confirmation to Hitman fans. IO Interactive will be putting Hitman, at least for the potential future here, on the back burner as they focus on the James Bond project. So yeah, definitely makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this a bit in the past, after playing that opening mission for Hitman 3, looking forward to seeing what to do with 007. It'll be really cool. So just a small news story there. Did you guys have anything you want to add to that real quick, or no?
Not really. I enjoyed Hitman 3 when it came out 2 months ago, I think it was. I don't really remember. Actually 3 months. Holy shit. But yeah, it was pretty obvious that they're gonna put that series on hold. It seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't they announce DLC or something for Hitman 3?
Yeah, they're doing a few bit of DLCs. I don't know if they're doing anything substantial. I also don't know when the James Bond game's supposed to come out, but yeah.
I think for me the most interesting thing is they say that it's taking a break, but according to their site, they are hiring for a ton of people on the Hitman team still. They've obviously got a lot more listings for 007, and they've got another project apparently that's unannounced, but they're still hiring for a future Hitman game, and they're hiring a lot of people, so they're still going to have a small team at least working on Hitman, but I imagine it just won't be coming out anytime before 007, which makes sense. They probably will want to take a break. Hitman 3 was kind of a good ending point for that trilogy anyway, so I imagine whatever they do next will be quite different. So 007's kind of their middle ground, although from the sounds of it they want to turn that into a series if it's popular as well anyway. So
I imagine, yeah. I still need to go back to Hitman 3. I haven't touched it since the first week it came out. Man. Yeah, just something I need to do, I guess. Speaking of, I guess, well, this is another delay essentially, but this one didn't actually surprise me that much. I think I was talking to Madman, good friend of the podcast, about this. Essentially, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga was apparently supposed to come out this spring, and like no one heard any news recently for it, so like no one expected it to come out. And lo and behold, they delayed it. I think it makes sense. Most likely, this game I imagine will be coming out in the holiday season because that seems like a perfect time for a Star Wars game, especially with like a Lego one like that. But I know there's a few people that are looking forward to that just because, I think Lego Star Wars is probably like one of the better series for the Lego franchise, at least. I know I played those games as a kid, so for those that cared about that, anyone here care about that? I feel like Charlie, you might, because you're a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. I thought it looked really cool, and it was meant to be out last year, and then got delayed to spring. But yeah, we hadn't heard a date, and they haven't even spoken about the game since August. I think it was at Gamescom. They showed off a trailer. Interestingly, the news kind of broke about this just after there had been a load of rumors about new trailers coming out, because Warner Brothers did the typical thing of uploading videos onto YouTube as private, but adding them to a playlist.
I love how Nintendo Directs also get apparently that way as well.
So yeah, they added like 3 new videos to the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga playlist. So people were like, oh, they're obviously gonna show a new trailer and maybe some gameplay soon. And then they delayed it. So those videos are still up. So presumably they're done and ready to go. It's just they're waiting for the new window, because right now they don't even have a new release window. But they said there'd be news soon. I was kind of hoping it was going to be like a surprise announcement this month that it's going to drop on like the 4th of May or something, for May the 4th, but that isn't happening. I'd imagine it's Christmas time now. Usually that's when the Lego games do come out, so I always thought it would be around Christmas time, although there's been rumors about a new EA Star Wars game coming out at the end of the year, like a smaller one like Star Wars Squadron, so I don't know if you'd want to have multiple Star Wars games coming out around the same time, even if they are slightly different, and as well the different publishers.
I mean, Squadrons also came out in like October, so they could do like an October, December, or October, November as well.
I think it would be awesome to see it come out over the summer. I think it's the perfect game for that sort of time, but I highly doubt it'll have been delayed that little, especially because they've talked about this is probably the most ambitious game they've done at Traveler's Tales in a long time. It seems they're trying to change up the gameplay quite a bit.
Is that what TT stands for?
Traveler's Tales, yeah.
Oh wow, I've known that name for like a decade now, and I didn't know it.
Yeah, they used to be called that, and then they changed it to TT Games, but it's still Traveler's Tales. But yeah,
gotcha.
It seems like it's going to be a big game, so it makes sense that it's been delayed as much as it has. But I'm looking forward to it. So
cool. Yeah, definitely holiday makes sense. I don't know. I always associate Star Wars with holidays just because I don't know. We always get November,
all the newer film
December
releases
movies.
were December, yeah.
Exactly. Anyways, a very fun topic. Dying Light 2 map to be 4 times the original.
Whoa.
So take that with what you will. I know the original map was pretty big, but I don't know. I don't really get excited about hearing a map being bigger. If anything, that kind of turns me off because that means more running.
Wasn't there like 2 maps in Dying Light?
Yeah, there was a first, like in the first half of the game, there was one, and then I know there was like a certain part where you get to the other city, right?
Yeah.
Bro, spoilers.
With the grappling. Yeah, for what, 2015 game?
I still have yet to get past like the first like 2 hours of that game. I've tried so many times, and I've just never been able to get past it. I want to because it looks really fun. I played a bit on PS4, and then I think I got it on PC a few years ago, and yeah, I always get to the same point.
We should co-op it or something.
I do know, is the whole thing in co-op? Because I
the whole game's
used to play it a lot. Okay, maybe we'll have to dive into that at some point.
Yeah. Any of you guys excited about the map being 4 times bigger?
It doesn't bother me, and like if the map is a lot like the second map in Dying Light 1, then I'll be happy about it. But then again, it's like it doesn't have to be like giant. Like it's not about the size, it's about like how they use it.
What you do with it.
Yeah. It's like how they construct it, and how like you like jump around everywhere, and how like what they showed in that
gameplay demo.
Yeah, was it E3? I can't remember.
It was like in August or something, from what I remember.
Yeah, the like what they shown of like the game, and like the map is like really well designed, and like I remember like you're jumping like from like inside one building to the next, and it's like not pretty like it's designed well basically. So it's not like I'm gonna be like worried that it's just gonna be like a giant map with nothing to really explore. It's not gonna be just a fucking desert like say Metal Gear Solid 5. But so I'm not that bothered by it. So it's just yeah. Have to see how it is once a game comes out in like fucking whenever it does.
Yeah, I just want the game to be good. Honestly, I feel like with them firing the writers or something, or the writers quitting, one of the two, I think they were like fired or something. I'm more scared about the story, but yeah, I just hope the game's good. I've talked about this in the past, but like,
There's
yeah,
a lot of
I don't know. I'm
weird
personally looking forward to it,
signs,
but there's a
yeah.
lot of weird, things going on with that studio, and they
And
said we'll hear more about it soon, so we'll see that.
The game just sounds so ambitious that I just don't know how it'll turn out. Like the concepts they have behind the game and how the world changes and stuff just sounds way too much, and I don't know if it's even possible for some of the biggest studios out there to do something like that. Like they were talking about that whole thing where like if you make this choice then the city can get like flooded and it changes like the whole map, and I'm like,
That's
does
crazy.
it though? Like that doesn't sound viable to make something like that, because then you have to like work that into all the side quests and all the main quests, and like that just sounds way too big, and I don't know if it can be done. We'll see. But yeah, the map being 4 times the size of the original, and I remember the original one being pretty big, worries me about the scope even more, because that just means there's tons of content in this thing. So yeah, I'm more worried about the story and stuff than I am anything else. But yeah, I'm one of those that was never like super hyped, so I'm just kind of on the fence, and I will wait and see what people say about it when it comes out.
Yeah, the thing is, the team's just like adored by the fans at least. So like, I really hope they don't screw it up like Cyberpunk did. So yeah, we'll see. I think that game's still slated for this year. We'll see it soon. I guess Justin, did you have any thoughts on this? I know we haven't heard from you.
Not too much. I probably like started the first one, like probably played like an hour and then didn't touch it after that. So I mean, it's not like the second one's not really a game I'm particularly looking forward to or anything like that. It's kind of like a wait and see approach, just I don't know, if the game does well I might check it out, but in terms of like the news being like, the map size bigger, I don't really care too much about that.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, on to our last big topic that I'm sure Josh is very excited to talk about, and very happy to hear that Xbox is in talks to publish the next Kojima Productions game. I think this broke on VentureBeat's podcast or so. They're essentially just talking about the rumors with Abandoned, and then they threw in that they actually been hearing that Hideo Kojima has been in talks with Xbox. So that'd be pretty, big on them. I know Phil Spencer's been visiting Japan for quite a bit of time, and that would be a certainly big move. I know there was that also thing that everyone joked about when Phil Spencer had like a Kojima Productions or like some kind of was it Death Stranding related or just Kojima Productions on his
the
shelf?
mascot,
Loons.
right?
Yeah, it was Loons.
Yeah.
And figure like just standing.
And then
next to
everyone
an
was
Xbox
teasing
statue.
about that. Yeah, and everyone was teasing, and they're like, "Oh, what if it is?" And I never like, "Come on, guys, come on." But maybe this is actually something that's happening. So, yeah, I mean, VentureBeat's a pretty credible news site. They're not like some random, website that's just trying to get clicks. I believe Jeff Grubb's actually from that, website. It might even been him that talked about it actually on the podcast. Yeah, so pretty big. I guess Josh, if you want to start us with this, what did you think?
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to it. Like I've recently ordered a Series X, so I'm gonna be comfy. Whatever like Kojima lands on, if that's Xbox or PlayStation, unless it's a Stadia, then I'm fucked.
We all are.
Yeah. Actually, I think didn't they close or whatever? I was gonna say if they closed down, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even care to search it up. And like, but yeah, like I think so long as Kojima can do what he does, which is just be Kojima, then I'll be happy. I do think, because apparently, like, because I was editing, like, Mr. Matty's Plays video on this topic that just uploaded, like, a few hours ago. Sponsor. Or not sponsor, but fucking...
Employee.
Yeah. What's the word? Fucking...
Plug.
Yeah, plug. Yeah, plug.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, apparently, like, that was my phone. Apparently, like, Xbox is, like, aiming to get a bunch of Japanese developers behind their back, and their main goal is to get Kojima, or not get him, like, try and, like, partner with him for, like, this upcoming game, to try and influence other Japanese and devs and publishers to publish on the Xbox. And that's kind of like... I think that's a good thing, because it's definitely no secret that PlayStation is, like, kind of moving away from the Japanese side of things. So...
You think? I mean, I guess with Japan Studio, yeah.
Yeah, with Japan Studio, and... like,
I mean, they
I
still have
guess,
strong relationships with, like, Capcom and,
yeah, they
you know,
still have, like,
Square
strong,
Enix,
and
but-
Square Enix, but, like, in terms of, like, they're not as strong as they used to be.
Yeah.
Then again, that could just be because they're very much more, not silent, but they're not as open as they used to be, like...
And they are more
Yeah,
of like
I
a
think-
Western company now, right? Like they've moved most of their
I
headquarters.
mean, yeah, I know there
to
was, like, with
America
the
and stuff.
globalization that Sony did, they're, like, more focused on, like, America side of things in terms of, like, executives, and focus more on that aspect, but yeah, that's true.
So I imagine, like, with that being the case, Xbox definitely is trying to get a good grasp on, well, not grasp, but get a good grip on an Japanese audience, and I think getting Kojima is definitely going to help that, because although, like, Death Stranding didn't sell that well in the Western market, it did sell pretty well in Japan. Like, I don't know the numbers, but I think it did really well, because it's Kojima. But yeah, like I said, if Kojima can, like, just basically be himself and pretty much do whatever he wants, then it's good. As well as, like, it's good in terms of, like, Gamepass, like, for players, because they'll be able to, like, whatever the fuck Kojima, like, makes next, like, it could be, like, basically as wild as Death Stranding was, and people could be more on the fence about it. And with Game Pass, they can, like, try it out without having to pay, like, not 60, but, like, $70.
That also reminds me, I
game.
remember Kojima talking about how, like, Americans don't like the kind of game that Death Stranding was, or something like that, like,
Yeah.
when Death Stranding first came out. So
Yeah.
maybe he's like, oh shit, I gotta be on Game Pass to get those filthy Americans to actually play my masterpiece,
Yeah.
since the rest of the world is on board.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. It'll be, I mean, obviously, like, going from Sony to Xbox, that's, like, pretty interesting that he's doing that. I mean, obviously, it's only for, like, a certain project, right? But
Yeah, he's not gonna,
still interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be, like, married to anyone at all.
Yeah,
since,
I mean,
like,
he's
Konami.
big enough to do his own thing, right? So
Yeah,
it's
pretty
like,
much.
yeah. In terms of, like, I don't care if it's on Xbox, that's cool. Like, if anything, I want it to be on Xbox for competition reasons, because then that means Sony has to step up their game, and that always, you know, leads to better outcomes for us. But in terms of, like, buying an Xbox, I'll probably stick to PC, because I imagine they usually, I mean, all their exclusives are essentially on PC as well, so I'll probably just pick it up there. Especially after Death Stranding came on PC, that was, like, a really good version, so probably we'll just wait for that. But yeah, still pretty interesting. Justin, any thoughts?
Yeah,
I'm pretty silent.
I mean, I'd be like the same like you, pretty much. I'm not gonna go and buy an Xbox just for one game, even though I did really enjoy Death Stranding. Yeah, I'd definitely just wait for it to come out on PC and get it there. And yeah, as like Josh said too, like Kojima just like he just needs to be himself, like without any limitations, and he can make something crazy, because you know he's just like such a creative such a creative mind. You know, he can like just come up with some crazy ideas.
Still waiting for him to use the DualSense in Wild Ways.
Yeah, yeah, you could definitely do something crazy with that too.
Oh,
I still need to play Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, same here.
I haven't.
Hey, Justin, we have until what, June to buy those games on PS3?
Dude, I have them. I have them on PS3.
Bro, you
I
have
bought them. I bought them so long ago, like probably like 3 or 4 years ago, like expecting to play it. I think it was probably like after Death Stranding got announced at like E3. I was probably like, oh yeah, I need to play Metal Gear Solid. So I like bought all those, and I haven't I haven't played them. But yeah, gotta do that at some point.
Nice.
You have like 1 to 4.
I have one. I think I don't have 4 because they don't have 4 on the store. On the
Four's the
PSN
one that
store.
has like someone. I remember my dad playing 4 as a kid, and I just remember watching cutscene after cutscene.
Yeah, it's a movie basically. It is on the store now, the digital store now. They added it like pretty.
Really?
Yeah, they
Oh,
added
okay.
it pretty late.
Because I know back then they didn't have it.
Yeah.
I have 1 to 3 for sure. I didn't have 4. So that's interesting. Maybe I have to get that. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't touched my PS3 in a while, so I don't even know if I would like dust that off.
Good luck.
Play
trying to
Demon
go.
Souls. I want to play the old Ratchet games before Rift Apart, but I'm
Yeah.
losing time on that right now. I'm like 2 months away from Rift Apart, so
I didn't even play Into the Nexus, so I have to get to that at some point before Rift Apart.
yeah.
Honestly, I'll probably
Charlie, what
just-
about you in Metal Gear? Have you played all the games? or no?
I've played, so I think I've played bits of like the first 2. I've played through Snake Eater, which I liked. 4, I've played bits, but I got bored. So I kind of left it but then I remember that was a long time ago. Like I remember playing 4. It's got to be like 7, 8 years ago. So like at that point in time, I was like playing COD and like all these other fast-paced games, and I'm going to play Metal Gear because I'm like, this looks really cool. And then I'm sat there for like an hour watching a cutscene. I'm like, yeah, I ain't got time for this. So maybe I'll go back to it one day. I think I own them all on PS3 on disc because they did like an HD collection, and then I've got 4. So maybe I'll go back to them. Oh, and I have played bits of 5, but I never beat it just because that game was fucking long.
Bro, I love the first hour of 5, and I lost interest once I went to an open world.
But when it comes to like the next game, I think it's really cool that he's in talks with Xbox. I think, like Josh said, like having it on Game Pass is a really good idea. For me though, I kind of hope that he doesn't have full creative control. Just because I think that Kojima is really clever, and I think he has some great ideas, but I don't think he's the best at executing them. And I do think that he works better when he has somebody just nudging him and going, hey, maybe this is really cool, but it could be a bit better if you don't do this. Because like
Agreed.
Death Stranding, I really enjoyed, but I do have my problems with it. And I think a lot of those could have been solved if it was just Sony was actually there being like, hey, maybe this won't hit with audiences as much as you think as it will. So I do hope that maybe Xbox are like, hey, we're going to give you a fuck ton of money, go do what you want, but we do want regular updates on what you're doing, and we would like to have a little bit of an impact on the game. I think the other interesting thing is I wonder what engine the game will be on, because obviously Death Stranding was on Decima, so all their experience is on that engine. I wonder if they would still use that if it was to be on Xbox, because obviously the engine is not designed for Xbox support, but it did work well with PC, so who knows if they would still be able to use that, because it was licensed out from Sony. Because yeah, they don't have experience in like normal public engines. They've only ever used their proprietary like Fox engine and then Decima. So I think it'd be interesting to see what's going on there. But yeah, hopefully we see it soon. I'm actually thinking that if this Xbox thing is a thing, we see it at the next Xbox event, like the E3 one, because obviously there was rumors that we'd hear about his next game soon. And I think it'd be a great idea for Xbox to just announce it at a show kind of out of nowhere, although now the rumors out there, it won't be as much of a surprise,
Out
but
of nowhere.
yeah.
The rumors that they're gonna announce their next game was like,
It was recent.
Yeah,
it was
it
recent,
wasn't-
like past.
I think it was like on last
yeah, it
week's episode or
wasn't-
something like that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Goji Shinikawa. I
The
can't-
artist, right?
Yeah, the artist. He said it himself that they're gonna announce their next game like very soon. So that's
Quote unquote
definitely
soon.
yeah, quote unquote soon. That doesn't really not really a proper window, but yeah, like that definitely could help indicate that this Xbox deal could be true. But I also agree with Charlie that Kojima definitely should have assistance when it comes to not developing games, but like in terms of executing stuff, because there has been stuff in like Metal Gear Solid 4's original ending that they changed, or like the devs at Kojima Productions convinced Kojima to change, like not last minute, but like very late into the writing process, that kind of drastically changed the ending of Metal Gear Solid 4 and the series as a whole. And honestly, in my opinion, it's best when Kojima does have like someone there to be like, maybe don't do it this way, or maybe execute it this way. So like Charlie said, I hope he has some help in terms of executing some stuff.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I definitely think we'll probably hear about it this year. If we don't, it's most likely due to COVID, I imagine, just because that game would have been only a few months into pre-production when COVID hit. But still, I think it's possible we see it at, whatever E3 event Microsoft chooses to have or something. Be pretty huge, too. So that's exciting. Any last remaining thoughts before we conclude this week's episode?
That's about it, I think.
That's pretty much it from me.
All right, sounds good. So yeah, of course, as always, as I mentioned in the very beginning of the episode, if you have any feedbacks, comments, suggestions, even topic ideas, leave them below in the comment section down below or in our Discord. And yeah, with that being said, thanks Josh for joining us this week.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's been fun having you on.
It's fun being on. It was a fun. How long has it been? Like an hour? Hour and a
Hour
half?
and 20.
Longer.
Hour
Hour
and
20.
Nice. Yeah, it was fun. Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad Kojima dropped news, or not Kojima himself, but Kojima related news dropped this week conveniently. But yeah, thank you for having me on. It's fun to talk with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And thanks Justin for joining us this week.
Yeah.
Yep.
once
Who
in a
knows? Who
month.
knows if I make it next week? We'll see.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
who
I'm not
knows?
the only guest in this week.
Guest appearance, exactly. No pressure for you, Josh.
Yeah. I might
yeah,
come back
and
next
then-
week and Justin might not be here.
Exactly. Maybe we'll just swap you two whenever one doesn't make it.
Yeah.
It'll work out that way. And then, of course, Charlie, thanks for joining me, of course, as you do every week. I think you haven't missed an episode this week, so... or this, run so
I
far,
missed
so.
one, but that was because
Yeah,
I didn't have a
21
PS5, so
episodes.
I get let off.
That's right. We did start episode 1 with me and Justin, didn't we?
Episode 2.
No, two.
yeah.
That was two.
That was episode 2?
But other
Okay,
than
was
that,
episode
I've
2.
been here.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm currently the only one that's been here since the pilot.
I mean,
Oh,
you do.
yeah,
edit.
they-
You do edit. So.
That's true. I'm kind of
You
essential
kind
to this
of
whole entire
have to be
operation.
here. So
But yeah, and then of course
It's
everyone watching, to
we
our
just
10
send,
viewers.
we just send you the video files and
Appreciate it.
you just edit other guys talking.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird, I guess. But I've done it in the past when I haven't been in a Geik episode. But yeah.
That's true.
Anyways, everyone watching, appreciate it. We'll see you next week for episode 22. Until then, take care, everyone.
See you later.
Peace.
See